What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the ManscapePodcast. I know we've been away for a while, and we have very much missed y'all. We've been going through some personal technical difficulties, but we are back. We are doing things a little different. I know we usually only have men on here, but we are bringing a wonderful lady to the stage today to come and tell her amazing story. She even has her own book out called Aftershot. But before we do anything else, I need everyone to go to TexasHotSauceCompany.com. Go support our boy down in Houston. Go support Texas Hot Sauce Company. Go and order all the bottles you need today. It is the most amazing hot sauce you will ever try. It's not big on the heat scale, but the flavor is the best thing you'll ever have. Make sure you go to TexasHotSauceCompany.com. And I would love everyone to help welcome a very good friend of mine, someone I consider family. Please welcome my friend, Lana.
Introduction. It's
Thank
so
you.
nice to be here and to finally sort of meet you virtually. I don't think we've ever had a conversation even over the phone before, playing on the internet though. So
I've done
I'm really happy
plenty of
you're doing
lives with
this.
you. I've done so
Yeah,
many lives with
yeah.
you when you very, very first started coming to social media.
Like a million years ago. I don't even think I've been on I keep saying that I'm going to come back to TikTok, and I actually have a plan to do that. And I'm collaborating with another I guess sorry, I'm just dropping everything everywhere, with another advocate in my new realm for the last couple of years, and so I'm looking forward to that. But summer is crazy, so it's hard to plan anything. Like, I live on
So,
the ball field and on podcasts for the most part.
so it's funny. I feel like I've known you without knowing you. You work with my cousin forever. I've got
Her
your book
husband was on my shift.
somewhere around
I
here.
Her husband was actually one of my favorite people to work with. He is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. And doing calls with him was always amazing. He was so funny, and he would somehow make a joke about absolutely everything and just lighten up all the calls. And I think that part of the job of policing is not to, take yourself too seriously often, even though it's a serious job. So yeah, I loved working with him. I'm a big fan of both of them, actually. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Chantel as well.
It's funny when I mentioned so when I very first mentioned about your book, when she told me that she knew you, I was like, "What? Hold on a minute!" And then I started kind of
Yeah,
putting puzzle pieces together. You and I are so intertwined.
I know.
Why have we not met in person yet?
I know. Well, distance, I guess, and just life. But and I've halted my book tour for a little bit simply because of life, and it was a lot. And I'm sort of
Yeah.
going down a new avenue, and I have some speaking gigs I'm booking, and yeah. So I think it's just proximity, but it will happen one day, my friend. I promise.
If you ever come speak or do a book tour here in London, let me know. I don't care where in the city it is. I'm going to come show up.
I will let you know. I will start touring again. I'm actually writing a second edition right now,
Ooh.
for mass distribution, and they sort of take everything over once that's done and published and produced. So we're changing things up a bit, and then they do all of my booking. So I have no idea where I'm going. I will be going where they tell me I'm going, I guess.
Are you only going to be staying within Ontario or Canada? Are you going to be North America or?
I think the plan is everywhere.
That's
I've been
amazing.
working with a production team from the UK as well. So I'll be going to the UK eventually.
What? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and hopefully eventually Australia, because I've worked with quite a few Australians to this point, and for
What?
whatever reason, I get along really well with Australians and the British.
You know what? After all this kicks off and you're done that whole big tour, I gotta get you to come back on here and share stories.
Yeah, well, let's see how it goes first. Maybe I'll lose my mind first. Who knows? It's a lot.
I'm so excited for you. I hope you do I I forget what you call it now, like not podcasting, but like make videos everywhere you go and like keep track of your tours so we can watch you as you tour everywhere.
I'm not technologically savvy at all. But the world is my oyster, and who knows? Maybe I can figure that out. I know how to work my phone, so that's good news.
Right? Even if you just do it through TikTok, like I want to see your tour and watch as you go everywhere and see what you're doing. Like,
It will be a while before I do that again, but I think I'm talking about a speaking gig in all places Thunder Bay right now.
I would go up there right
And
now with what's happening.
oh, right. But this won't be until fall, I think, and we're still in
Oh,
talks for that. And then there's another one coming up, and I'm not sure where that's going to be located yet. We're still in talks, but I will let you know if I come to the London area. And
absolutely. I
if I
gotta
can
come see
figure
you.
out, well, if I could figure out how to, film myself while globetrotting, I will.
I'm going to give you like a big hug when I see you. I'm not going to
Well, I love warm hugs. I'm a big fan of Olaf, so that's good news.
lie. So you're saying about a second edition, like, is it going to be any
Mhm.
different? Are you adding things? Are you adding different stories or?
Some of it's changing, where there's more details, but I've actually already added 2 new chapters, and I was trying to do what I did before in a chapter a day, but because my daughter's baseball has taken over my life, I only have so much time in a day, and at some point I'll have to cut out sleep, I guess. Um, so it will be probably about twice the size that it originally was. And actually, the book had started off being about 300 pages. And then I went through an editing process, and a lot of it was taken out. I think just this editor and the publishing team, they're a little more sanitized than,
Mm-hmm.
a memoir on PTSD. And then now that I'm going to a different distributor, it's more of like memoir based editing and the
Mm-hmm.
raw truth, which is kind of my specialty.
Awesome.
So it will be an entirely new book, mostly.
So is it safe to say that policing and being on duty is officially done and no longer part of your life?
I'm still on leave. I still very much have PTSD, and that still very much sucks. Doing everything is very hard. But I haven't. I don't know what will happen in the future. The plan is to eventually go back, and hopefully that happens. But I'm certainly not ready now. But maybe one
Mm-hmm.
day we'll see.
So let's go back to the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in a little place called Lively.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those Northern Ontario towns that you drive through it and it like you're literally on a highway going somewhere that's not lively. And you're like, who would live here? Well, the answer is my friends and entire family and originally me. So
Mm-hmm.
that is where I was born. I was born from my both of my parents were teachers. My dad was a principal. So, they worked at the schools, in the area. And I moved, I think, to Southern Ontario when I was 25, I would say. So it's been
Mm-hmm.
it's been a while. I'm old now.
You still make it look good. Don't worry. Um,
Thanks.
so what was life like for you growing up then?
Um, well, I was undiagnosed ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually 2 E's, so I have 2 differing thought patterns that contradict each other. So that was good times. I wasn't able to focus in school, and I think I was bullied a little bit in elementary school, because I was different. And then I think I learned how to mask in high school, so that went a lot better. But I would say aside from, being ADHD and having a few horrible events happen to me, which I sort of captured in my book, it was a pretty normal childhood. I would say I have, 2 brothers. I'm still friends with all my high school friends. Still talk to them all the time. We still see each other. So we
Oh,
travel
wow.
back and forth. Yeah.
So what were grades like for you? Did you do well in school? Were you bullied a lot? Did you ever get in trouble?
I didn't get in trouble really. My grades were average, I would say, in elementary school. In high school, they were terrible, and then they were good. And then in university, I actually did really well, aside from one semester. But I sort of figured things out, and I ended up being, at the end of my university career, a research assistant for my very favorite professor, who now uses my
Mm-hmm.
book actually as reading material
That's
in
awesome.
his fourth year leadership class in political science. So
Sweet.
that was surprising. Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. So we're still in touch too.
Um, so you did okay in school. You weren't really in trouble or anything.
No,
What was your relationship? Actually, did you have any brothers or sisters?
I have two brothers.
Are you guys close?
No, I don't talk to either of them actually.
Are we allowed to ask why, or is that something you don't want to
Oh,
disclose?
I will absolutely answer any question. So my oldest brother, we were actually he lived with me for about a year, and I kind of supported him for about a year after him and his wife split up. And he kind of took a really weird turn down what I would consider the wrong side of the internet,
Mm-hmm.
um, where he became, in my view, very misogynistic, racist. And these are things that I simply do not stand for. And there were a few events that transpired. And so we just don't talk. And my other brother, actually, we were very, very, very close up until about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, this is when I was in the depths of PTSD, and it was probably the worst of it. And I had, just been diagnosed. I had spent a lot of time in like sleep paralysis, and I don't think he fully understood. And it was actually involving my other brother. I had stopped by my one brother's house, and I was going to leave before my other brother was going there because he refuses to be in the same room as me, which, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really sure what happened exactly, but I got like yelled at by his girlfriend, and I'm still confused to this day as to why. I think that they were trying to say that I needed to make amends with my other brother, which I don't think that that's even possible, because you can't make amends with somebody who, number one, you disagree with at your core,
Mm-hmm.
and two, I don't even think that he wants to talk about anything. So why? And I think that her perspective was, I should just show up to his house for the sake of my parents. And I just don't think that would have gone well. And unfortunately, I'm not really sure what happened, but that happened. And we have not really spoken since, um, aside from, I'm sure that I play a part in it too, but he basically just told me I'm crazy, and a lot of very unkind things, and sort of like insulted my book and my life's work. And I was like, "Oh," so that's where we are right now.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, you're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So, what's your relationship like with your parents?
We're good. I think my parents are disappointed that, we all don't talk, but um, there's nothing that they can say or do. I think that they've tried, and it's not necessarily on my side. Like I'm willing to sit down and talk to anybody. And that includes my brothers, but there just doesn't seem to be a willingness on the other side, which disappoints them. But I certainly still maintain my relationship with my parents, and I love them dearly.
What do your parents think of your book and all that?
They're very proud of me, actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Which is I know when they first read the book, they kind of had to like sit down and be like, "We did not know any of this." So I think that they were a bit shocked at first at the things that I had gone through. Um, but I think they understand me more now. And like, funny enough, my brothers have not read my book. They just assume what it contains. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's part of it as well. So who knows? But yeah, my parents are very, very proud of me, and somehow not surprised, which I was surprised. So I don't know.
Um, as I said, I have no notes. I didn't prep nothing for this interview, so
That's fine. That's how I do things anyway. I don't have time to prepare. People send me podcasts all the time and like, can you review and approve this? I'm like, nope. No, I have no time. I know what I say. I say what I mean. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
say anything I don't mean. So why would I need to review? Right? And who's got time for that? Who's got all that prep time? Not me. And like on top of that, how are you going to be genuine if you rehearse something?
I don't like to rehearse. I just like having like a list of questions that way
Prepared
I know
questions.
what I'm going
Yeah.
to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, it's a good
So,
thing I'm a chatty Cathy.
are you a first generation police officer in your family, or is there any before you? Or
My uncle is RCMP, but I'm the first in my nuclear family.
mm-hmm.
I come from a really like long line of random professions, but I think aside from my uncle, it's just him and I. But weirdly, I was talking to the professor that I referenced earlier, because my grandpa is first cousins with Lester B. Pearson. Um,
Okay.
so he's asking me about that, and I was doing some research so that I could show him. And then obviously I couldn't find anything, but then I found like an officer with his precise name, which is David Bowles, and his
Mm-hmm.
son, David Bowles Jr., and then like their newest recruit, who's also a police officer. So it's generation
Mm-hmm.
related to them somewhere in the line. Because David is a huge name in my family, and obviously that's the exact same name as my dad too.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? I'm assuming that I probably have a ton of police somewhere on that side of the family. How I'm related to them, unsure, but I'm pretty sure I am.
So, quick side note, because you're talking about your last name. I'm a huge hockey fan, especially our local London Knights. Let's go! But
Mm-hmm,
we had a
mm-hmm,
kid here. We had a kid here in 2005. Actually, really, I think he plays pro now. But he had your
mm-hmm.
last name,
Bowles or Boland?
Boland.
Oh, okay.
Shout out
Boland is
David
my
Boland.
married name.
Okay.
Um, I I don't, but I will ask my husband. I know that he's not directly related to me in a close way.
Yeah.
But I figure like I've actually created to like full-blooded Boland, so I guess that makes me a Boland. Like once you add to the line, right?
So, what made you want to get into doing policing and law enforcement?
Yeah. Um, so I graduated into the economic recession of 2008. And I had no idea what the hell I was going to do because nobody was hiring. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't opening up spots for the Prime Minister of Canada. Damn. Um, so I was walking my dogs one day, very much unemployed in my pajama pants, and I was watching all these people walk their dogs as well. And they were wearing like pantsuits, and I was really resentful toward that. I'm like, why can you get a job? And I've done everything that I was told to do, and yet I can't get a job. How is that fair? So I was writing this article about I think it was like postgraduate syndrome, where you're just going to have a bunch of like university graduates that are like homeless and confused because we couldn't find jobs. And I was venting at a barbecue, and somebody asked me if I was my brother's sister, and I was like, "Well, yes, I am. I am Chris's sister." And she said, the records department is hiring at the local police. You should apply. So I applied. I got the job. So basically, I just like transcribed reports, and it was incredibly boring.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I eventually ended up moving down south, and I switched services, and then I was front desk, and that was also very boring for me. And there was an inspector at that service who said, you'd make a really good officer. And I'm like, well, I'm like 20 pounds. I'm incredibly unfit. That's probably not something that is in my horizons. What? And then he sat down with me the next day for about 3 hours. And I kind of decided then that, I wanted benefits because my job was very, very shitty contract at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out how to go from point A to point B. My mom had to teach me math because I'm not very good at math. Um, and I was hired, and Bob's your uncle. Here I am.
Did you go through schooling or anything for it, or did you just jump right into it?
I just jumped right into it. I have a political science degree and it has nothing to do with policing. So,
um, I remember because I read your book. I've been all through your book. I listened. By the way, I also listened to your book, and you guys can go get her book on Amazon now, and you can also listen to it online. I'll put all links down below. But I remember reading early in your book that when you very first started, like they treated you kind of unfairly. What happened with that?
Interestingly, so I'll preface it with what actually happened. So there is a trainer who I'll tell you what I discovered later, but he had targeted me. And this was sort of a habit
Mm-hmm.
of his where he seemed to target the smallest female in every recruit class. And he had decided that I don't have enough heart. So he actually choked me at one point. He had my badge taken away from me at my ceremony and made me sit in the hallway for 2 weeks. So that narrative preceded me and I had to prove myself. And it was unfortunate because like even the females on my shift, I think because they were protecting themselves from the same treatment, they didn't treat me very well. And I came with this reputation. So interestingly, a couple of months ago, I actually met with this trainer because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted his perspective. And he, much to his credit, met with me. And he wasn't sure what to expect. And he said, I came in here really defensive, and this is not the conversation I had expected to have. I expected to, I came in really defensive and really the person that you're describing to me isn't somebody I would even recognize now. And I guess at the time he was going through an awful separation. And he was very mentally ill and going through many of his own demons. So he apologized to me, which is nice, but it wasn't even necessary because I just appreciated him for giving me his perspective. And, at the end of it, he said, I'm so surprised that I decided, even at that time, that you didn't have the heart because talking to you. And he started kind of remembering who I was. He said, you have exactly the heart. And you are exactly the kind of person that should be a police officer. So it's just interesting how things pan out once everything is said and done.
You know, here on the Manscape podcast, we usually stick up for men and men's mental health and stuff like that. But I'm also going to say this: that doesn't justify behavior to me. Choking out a female just because of you're going through some shit, that doesn't justify it to me.
Well, of course not. Of course not. And that's true of anybody. But one thing, even though I'm on the Manscape podcast and I realize that, I have balls that go the wrong way, and I have a constant joke that I'm like, maybe like, one will just drop and I'll have a ball one day. Who knows? But with that being said, I would so much rather just be recognized as human rather than the way I sit on a toilet, and for my own skills and to not be diminished or emboldened, just because of, how I was born. I would prefer to be recognized as a human with skills and thoughts and
Let's
independent
go.
thinking.
Not gonna lie, you're like the very, very first female to ever step onto our platform.
Yay!
You're someone that I wanted to interview with for a long, long time. It's funny because not just you and I have conversations. I've been having conversations for the past year with Chantel about trying to get this interview lined up. Like ever since I started this idea of getting a podcast, Chantel and I have been talking about you since that started. Like that,
She's sweet.
this is
I
something I
really like
needed
her.
to get.
Well, I'm happy to be here. And I know that it's been like my schedule's been a bit wild. And I
Yeah,
know that literally I responded to like a message that you had sent me a while back, but I hardly have time to open my phone. Even right now, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh God, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 notifications just since we've been sitting here. And those are actually the ones that I was ignoring before that because I didn't have time to look at them. And like literally yesterday, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I have 2 p.m. Like, and then like, I don't know, I might have to run out a bit because the pool people are here.
um,
And even right now I have like a group chat calling me. Yay. So I'm happy to be here and I'm happy that we can make this work.
I'm very honored to have you, not just because of me, but on our platform.
Oh, sorry, my phone literally just dropped because of the group chat. It was vibrating.
That's funny. But yeah, we are very honored to have you here and so grateful. Like I'm not gonna lie, I woke up like really nervous today. Like not just because I've been going through personal things and I stepped away from the platform for a while. So like this is my first interview coming back in over a month. And like, I'm nervous, I'm unscripted, I'm prepared. Like,
That's the way
I
you do life. That is the way everybody should do life. Let me tell you. Um, I think podcasts actually become more listenable when it's just two humans being humans talking to each
mhm.
other about a subject. Like there is a podcast I went on probably about a month ago, and like we had to like revert because we got into Star Wars lore and Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I got all butthurt and upset about, Gamora because I feel like the movies did her dirty and Drex isn't coming back, which I understand he doesn't want to put like all the makeup on, but like you're doing Gamora dirty. Now she's like a dirty like space pirate. And that is not how the story goes. Like, what is Peter gonna do? So anyway, I just think sorry for anybody who doesn't know Guardians. Now you do. But I think that just being a human and just coming on and talking, and usually when people have scripted questions for me, we venture off anyway, because that's just kind of who I am and the way I operate. And I'm not very good at, staying on subject. Like I can answer questions, sure, but I tend to venture off. So I appreciate that you came on
so
like raw, because that is the
so
way I like it. So
I'm going to
I
go on a
actually,
complete side note hole for a minute that you
yeah,
just opened.
okay.
So I've never talked about my inner nerd on this platform, and I'm going to let it out for a minute because you just opened a whole can of worms there. I'm not a fan of Guardians. I don't like Harry Potter.
That's okay.
The one thing that despises me is Lord of the Rings. There is one return, and it's of the Jedi. Let's get this clear.
So there's so many freaking Star Wars movies, and we've actually been trying to rewatch all of them, and like there's so much, and like the family tree is like huge now.
Right?
Where like people are like naming their kids all like sneakily like Ben and Luke. um but you know Star Wars is so fascinating, and it's such a reflection of society, and I think that's missed on a lot of people, the rhetoric behind it. My kids and
Mm-hmm.
I are very much on the dark side, and like we would be here for an entire week if I went into why. But my kids and I have discussed this ad nauseum. So like when we went to Disney, I cry every time I go into Star Wars Land, like bawl my eyes out, like an absolute lunatic, and I go like immediately to the milk bar. And we were with my in-laws last time, so they do not care about Star Wars. They are Mickey Mouse and, Toy Story people. We're like, my family and I are very like Guardians and Star Wars and pirates.
Let's
We're very much
go.
um so my son was wearing, and I didn't even realize he was wearing his Darth Vader shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And the stormtroopers are walking by and they're like, "Thank you for your allegiance." And it was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. And he was like 5 at the time. So like my little tiny boy just got like saluted by the stormtroopers. And my in-laws wanted to buy my kids a toy. So obviously they both picked out Darth Vader, as they do.
Yep.
Um, and then my daughter ended up going back to get Luke Skywalker because the universe must be balanced. Yeah.
That's adorable. I
It's like
absolutely
it's
adore
so
that.
hilarious. Yeah. So like we talk
So
about these things all the time, and she's right that the universe must be balanced. Like, yeah, Blair, you're right. You are right.
I can't stand Lord of the Rings. It's like 2 or 3 movies of them just walking through a forest to toss a ring in a volcano. I'm like, no, stop it.
I think that Lord of the Rings, it's been a long time since I've read the books or watched the movies, but I think that one is actually a pretty good testament of society too. Where you have Gollum that's, chasing this thing that's killing him. And
Mm-hmm.
isn't that kind of what we do as humans? Like, isn't that kind of like an interesting testament to Lord of the Rings? And I think that a lot of fantasy is actually reflections of society. And that's
Mm-hmm.
true of Guardians too. Um, where, like even think of like government and like parties needing to work together where,
Yeah.
we had like the dirty space pirates and like the Guardians, like they teamed up. I don't know. I find these movies absolutely fascinating. But yes,
So
that's also my inner dorkism.
I didn't know that Lana had an inner nerd.
Huge. Like that is who I am to a T. I am a giant nerd. I'm proud of it. And and I don't know how people are even surprised. I'm like, I did political science in school. Like, does that strike you as cool? Like, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
I need to know now.
Huge
Are you a
like,
gamer? Do you play video games?
I play the VR. That's about it. No, so like I'll play but I'm very musically inclined.
Okay.
So there's on my VR, there's Maestro, so I actually can conduct an entire orchestra. And there's a lot of pressure on Maestro where they throw shit at me if I screw up. So there's a lot of pressure in the VR. I play drums on the VR often, air guitar. There's one called Beat Saber.
Yeah, I know Beat Saber. I've seen tons of videos.
Oh yeah, so you get to I can play that on expert, just not to brag, but just saying.
If any of your family hears this, y'all need to get a recording of her doing that sometime for me.
I look insane, absolutely out of my mind. My husband actually thought that I was doing when I was conducting my orchestra in the kitchen one evening. My husband came down and he's like, "I thought that you were doing some Harry Potter shit because it's hard. You have to point, and then this is strings and then you also have to get the beat, and it is difficult. It is difficult."
On a side note, because you mentioned Guitar Hero, I want to try and get into that DJ Hero. The DJ Hero looks fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't have enough time to add to my nightly repertoire on my VR, but it does look fun. I have a whole I haven't done it in a bit because we're selling our house right now. So I don't know where the box is that stores my VR, so I cannot find it at the moment, which is I'm very, very sad about. So I'm gonna actually try to find the box after this. I have to go mow the lawn of our new house at some point and pick up my kids and do whatever else I have to do today, which I don't even remember. But yeah, I'm I need to get back on the VR. I've just been inspired. Or when you go on the roller coasters, those are fun too.
So you've been mentioning your kids. How many do you have?
2.
How old were you when you had your firstborn?
31.
Were you a police officer already at that time?
Yes. Yep.
So what was it like for you when you had your firstborn?
Well, I actually flatlined when I had her.
What?
Yeah, I briefly died actually. I clotted, bled out. So I think I had a bit of postpartum, and then it was very difficult going back to work. But it was sort of normal by then where I had sort of, dealt with everything in my brain from her birth, but she was probably the most difficult baby on planet Earth. Still to this day, I have not seen a more difficult baby than my beautiful Blair. And it makes perfect sense because up until recently, she was the only competitive ball player in her entire division that's female. And she is a boss. She is so good. She is the only player that's hit a grand slam. She got player of the game last tournament. She's amazing.
Way to go, kiddo.
So I don't. Well, and you know what? It makes sense. She came out with a bang, right? Because she is a force to be reckoned with. And don't not know it, but I'm so proud of her. And yeah.
What was it like for you though? The first time you got to hold her and look at her?
Well, I was handed to her. It was about 2 seconds. I looked at a nurse and said, "I'm about to go down," because I knew I was about to pass out. And then that's when I flatlined and then was rushed to the OR. So that's how that was. And then I was in intensive care when she was brought back down to me. And I don't even know how long it was after all of that had happened. I vaguely remember an elevator ride and I vaguely remember holding her, but I had I was having several blood transfusions. I think I had 11 in total. And I had 100 mgs of fluid being pumped into me.
Jesus.
So I could hardly move my arms. So somebody would have to place her on my chest. And then because my arms were so filled with fluid, I couldn't even really put my arms around her. So that's what that was like.
So you didn't get to experience that first special moment with her.
Well, unless you consider me flatlining a special moment, then no,
That's
no.
wild. See,
Mm-hmm.
we get to talk about all the things that you didn't talk about in your book.
I
Um,
did talk about her birth actually.
did you?
Yeah, I don't think I got into like detail like I did now, and I actually intend to do that. I intend to rewrite it, but I think it was chapter 5. Um, that, and I've actually talked to my OB about this. We're friends now. Um, a few times too, and like all the conversations, and yeah. And then Cooper was fine. Cooper was a walk in the park. My son.
What was your son like?
His eyes were super black, which is weird. They're blue now.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked like a little demon baby and he was adorable. He was so tiny. Like my daughter was a tank and he was so little. And
How
he
far
like to
apart are
me,
they?
he's an easy 2 years.
What do they think of Mama being a police officer?
Well, I don't think they think much of it. I don't think they care, honestly. Um, I think in kindergarten, my daughter said that she wanted to be a firefighter. And I was like, well, fair
Mm-hmm.
enough. And my son wants to be a police officer and shark diver, but I don't really think that they
Cool.
register very much. They just know that that's, mom's job. Like they see, and it's like nothing either. Like they've seen me in uniform 1,000 times and it doesn't really phase them.
Um, are they aware of everything that's going on now with you? Like all the PTSD and everything?
Sort of. Like they know, like obviously I've been off work. And I protected them as much as I can from PTSD symptoms because I don't think that that would be age appropriate, but they understand on a level like as much as a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old can. Um, but I think that they're just more excited that, I can pick them up every day and, they don't have like sitters some nights because I'm home. So I think that that's more of what they see rather than anything else.
Are you able to share any of your traumas and stuff that you've been through with us?
Well, my PTSD, it was never any scene. It was the
Okay.
culture of policing. Where, I had I think that this was kind of like one of the straws that broke the camel's back, where, I ended up being unexpectedly presented with a homicide scene as I stood there. And I
Yep.
had to get the suspect in custody. It was a very gory, gross scene filled with biohazard. And I had to, like, I only had one other officer with me. We had to secure the scene, get him into custody, rights to counsel, and do everything that was required. And then I was left to sit in the biohazard because nobody came to clean it for 9 hours or 10 hours the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Doing stolen automobiles because the station was closed because it was a
Mm-hmm.
homicide scene. And that particular day, because I had a hard time getting my kids out the door, I was reprimanded for being 11 minutes late.
Wow.
So it was a lot of stuff like that, where it was a lot of micromanaging, a lot of feeling diminished, undervalued, targeted, um, the culture. And I think that that's because hiring practice, and this is true of many companies, we don't hire people based on their skill set. We hire people um, based on how they look on a brochure, what is best for our optics, and we don't tend to care about those people's well-being,
Mm-hmm.
which is not great.
So, what is the treatment like that you're going through? What kind of stuff are you doing? What do they do with you?
Um, I have a psychologist that I go
Mm-hmm.
see. We do some exposure therapy. But I'm very self-directed, so I actually don't find like I love my psychologist. She's amazing. But just trying to like get back to my life, I think is what is helping more than anything. And getting rid of some of the physiological issues that I've been dealing with for a long time. So I look forward to just getting back to normalcy, and I think that that's when the real healing will really happen. I don't know if anybody ever truly heals from PTSD. I think it becomes more manageable than it does healing. But we'll see. I don't really know.
What is the exposure therapy? What exactly do they do with you?
Like I wasn't able to enter a mall for about a year and a half. And she came with me to a mall. And I had to go to like a mall tour or drive past a mall. And so we gradually exposed me to a mall. I don't know what's going to be next, but exposure therapy is a part of it. And then I'm not really sure what comes next. I guess I find out at my next meeting or my next appointment.
So when you're doing the exposure therapy, what are all those feelings inside like for you?
At first I thought that I was going to die. Almost always, where it felt like an asteroid was going to come hit me and I was going to die, going into the mall, which was brutal. Um, yeah, it's because your brain's in constant fight or flight mode. So everything comes as an attack, even when you're not in any sort of danger. I do have to pause for just a minute because the pool
Okay.
people are calling me, which tells me that
Okay.
just because I got to sort out my pool.
And we back. So everybody, we
Hello.
just had to take a quick break there. Pool people.
My bad. Yeah, pool people again. My pool has a leak.
Oh no.
So like literally, like my hose is going right now to fill it up because they're doing what's called a leak track.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good times, good times.
So it got me curious because you were talking about mall exposure. What is it about a mall for you?
Um, So a lot of the trauma that happened to me, even culturally, was in the community station of a mall,
Okay.
including that homicide scene that I referred to before that I was reprimanded for being 11 minutes late, my favorite.
Um, so what does life look like for you currently?
Um, uh, some days are good, some days are bad. I'm in a lot of physical pain because
Mm-hmm.
my skin cells overproduce, and that's largely due to PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some days I still have a hard time waking up and doing anything. So like it's actually hard to get out of bed. Um, I spend a lot of time at the Ball Diamond
Mm-hmm.
for my daughter. Like the whole family goes. I'm the team DJ.
Let's go.
So mhm. My daughter like has her own walk-up song, and we actually got Ryan Cameron from the Falcons to voice it. Do you want to hear it? It's really funny.
Yes, let's go. I'll post it.
Okay. Okay, it's like so it's not long. It's 30 seconds, but
Awesome.
this
Oh,
is
perfect. Okay.
so every single player has their own walk-up song
Right on.
that we play when they go up to bat, and this one is my daughter's. Hopefully my app cooperates. It doesn't always. Do. Oh, here we go. Um okay, here she is. Just gonna turn up my volume so you can hear it. My bad side, make him on the side, make him it's so hard.
Now, number 5, Blair Foley.
Duh. It's the best walk-up song. So every
Let's
player
go.
has their yeah, like it's so funny. I manage the team, so I spend a lot of
Nice.
time talking to local businesses, organizing food, fielding questions. I spend a lot of time on podcasts, even though I've paused that a little bit just because life is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't spend a lot of time on social media simply because of time. I don't have a lot of it, and I'm trying to get myself better, and it's hard to do when you're in pain as well. Like focus on a phone,
Yeah.
focus on anything. Yeah. So a lot of ball, a lot of getting sponsorships and organizing ball stuff. I spent a lot of time talking to officers
Mm-hmm.
with PTSD. Um, I spend a lot of time advocating and writing emails to the places it needs to go in order to have better officer protections. I spend a little bit of time in meetings with my advocacy work
Mm-hmm.
and getting people in the loop that need to be in the loop or collaborating. I'm writing again, slowly but surely. I'm drafting a bill right now for
cool.
whistleblower protections and to reform the Police Services Act.
Mhm.
So, every day is a little different. We have no structure.
Just kind of some off-topic, non-personal questions.
Mhm.
It is being a police officer a lot the same as what you actually see on TV?
No. No. Like, so, like, actors are actors, right? And, like, my husband's also a police officer, and, like, just, like, watching, like, searches and, like, the way that they run scenes, we're like, "Oh my god, that's such an officer safety risk. What are you doing?"
Like, I watch a
Um
lot of live PD, cops, stuff like that,
Mhm.
and I'm
It's,
curious if it's actually real.
no, no, no. Well, like, maybe, like, some of the reality, like, shows are because that's, like, based on reality.
Mhm.
But, like, the actual acted shows, not no, no. Like, not no.
Um, Here's kind of a personal question, and this is just because 'cause you're on Manscaped. Being a female and everything you've been through, what's your opinion on men's mental health?
I think that it's equally as important to female mental health. I think it's human mental health. I don't think that there should be a difference between female mental health and men's mental health or any other gender for that matter. Mental health is mental health, and we're all affected by it evenly. So it absolutely like does matter just as much as anyone else's would. It's human mental health, is my opinion.
Mhm. Um, so I'm gonna be honest, I come from a lot of a very different lifestyle than and a lot of the
Mhm,
people I surround myself with,
mhm,
law
mhm.
enforcement and talking to law
Yeah,
enforcement, being around them is very, very frowned upon. And I may get some backlash for this interview, but I could give a fuck less.
it's
But
okay. I think a lot of police officers feel like being attached to me would be very frowned upon. So we're all good. Same, same.
but what what is your like if you could tell people like if you had the world listening right now and
Mhm.
you could tell people that hated law enforcement and you could say something to help change somebody's mind, what would you want to tell them?
Well, like law enforcement is an institution. They're comprised by humans. There's good humans and there's bad humans. It's a job. It's a job. It's not who you are as a person. It's like it might like who you are certainly impacts the way that you do the job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's good officers, there's bad officers, but regardless of anything, the issue is with society. It's not with an institution. Institutions don't exist. They only exist because we give them meaning, and we as humans need to decide that something exists. Um, so we're humans. Like we are humans. Like just like teachers, just like anybody, or podcasters or
Mm-hmm.
influencers. Like there's good people and there's bad people, and there's people that are good at their job and there's people that are bad at their job. Um, but I think the issue is very systemic, and that is human wide. It's not policing, it's not anything else. It's that we stopped caring about other humans because in order to get ahead, we let the pendulum shift so far in one direction um, that we don't care about each other anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the issue, and that translates to every profession. Like, you should not be hiring people because of, the color of their skin or because they're female. That's when you get bad police officers. Hire the person that's most qualified. I think that if we had services comprised mostly of just the most qualified individuals, I think that we would be a lot better off as society because that's how we evolve.
You know, it's funny you say higher because of qualifications, and this is something I talk about with a friend of mine, like on a
Yeah.
lot. Like we talk about this topic a lot.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
If you and I both turned in a resume, had the exact same skills and everything,
Hmm.
I'm gonna win every time.
I would suggest that I would win for optics. I wouldn't be promoted, certainly, unless I like fit, the very like narrow-minded narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But for optics, and to look good, you need to hire a certain demographic. And I spent a lot of time wondering, was I hired for my skills or was I hired because I'm female and I check a box?
Mm-hmm. like they say that guys often get chosen over a female for jobs and stuff like that.
Yes, that's true. I would say promotion wise, that's absolutely true. And then they sort of get their like token females that, fall in line with a very like narrow perspective. And I'm not saying that's true of everybody, like nobody could ever say that, but I think that females are kind of expected to fall in line and play the game in order to be promoted. Where like I do believe that if I were a male doing precisely the same thing I'm doing now, I would certainly be getting a lot more credit from my service. Like maybe they would even answer me. Um, so it's true. And this is why I'm always preaching human. Like, can we not just see each other as human, as valuable humans? Men and women are different. We're conditioned differently. And we have different biology. So yes, we're different, but we're all freaking human. Like that's it. That's all. And that I just want there to eventually be the day where we aren't judged upon appearances. Instead, we're judged upon the skill set that we have and what we bring to the table. And I think that that is honestly how we will progress as society.
So it sounds like what you're really for at the end of the day is a lot of equality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Equality, but like just equality as humans, not equality in any other way. Like I would love to see the pay gap disappear, and just see qualified people be and like more educated people, more skilled people be paid more than people who are less skilled. I think that that's what makes sense. Promote the people that had earned their positions. Like don't promote people because they either make you look good or they're easy to control. I think that's a big part of this is like the issue that we have as society. And until we come from a place of like spirit and authenticity over, ego, I think that we're going to just stay in this box.
So it's funny. I go down holes at night and I watch a lot of crash outs and arguments on TikTok at night. And one of the things I'm seeing on the frequent right now is what do you think about like feminists and like feminists saying that they need to put themselves up above men again and that they deserve more?
So I think that a lot of that is in jest. But I think that what they're actually alluding to is the fact that, like, just factually based, society has been ran by men since paganism died as the ruler of our like existence. And like culturally, men have ruled society, and society is not in good shape right now. And I think that women bring something different to the table. I think that's the point that's being made. That we think differently. We tend to be more empathetic. And that's not true of every female, but just because of our biology and estrogen versus testosterone, that's just the way it is. I think that they're saying it in jest. But with that being said, I think that it's just a commentary because men have, ruled society. They've made the decisions and, they've kept females in a box. So it's not that we're more deserving. It's that we're just deserving at an equal shot.
So I see a lot of crazy things, especially scrolling the TikTok late at night. And one of the things I'm seeing lately is like, so with this full feminist thing and equality and all that, if the man makes enough money that the woman wants to stay home and be taken care of by her husband, whatever, do what you do. If she wants to go get her own money and have her own job, do that. I'm all for that. But the thing that really annoys me is seeing these girls on TikTok just flat out saying, "Oh, I'm pretty. A guy should pay for everything for me."
Oh, that's just dumb.
No.
That's the wrong side of TikTok that you're on. That's just silly nonsense, and that just is a testament to immaturity. Like that's just silly. So I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't even pay that any mind. Where if you get things because you're pretty, I guess good for you. Like, I don't know what kind of merit that gives you, but hooray, I guess. I wouldn't even, I don't know. That wouldn't even cross my radar.
But anyways, do you have anything else that you'd really want to share with the world? Anything?
Be kind. Be kind. And be kind to my friend Steve here.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
It takes a lot more effort to be an asshole than it does to just be nice to people and be reasonable. And yeah, sure, like fight for the things you care about, get your inner Ruth going. But do it in a way that makes other people want to follow you. And you can't do that when you're an asshole. You can't do that by
Right?
stepping on other people. Just be a kind person. Like, for the love of God, it's not that hard. You don't need to be friends with everybody, but just be nice.
Right?
And, don't judge people and just be yourself, because I think that that's where a lot of irritation comes from in our society, is that people are just too busy trying to be what they think everybody else wants them to be. And I don't think that that's, how we will get anywhere. I think that a lot of extremism happens because of optics. And that is not what we want as a society. So I think that we really need to take a good look at ourselves, our cultures, and the way that we behave as humans. And rather than, discuss our differences, maybe we should just discuss that we're all freaking human and we all have value.
Mm-hmm.
And, you will never, ever, ever get anywhere good by stepping on other people. It might be, instantaneous that you get some sort of gratification, but eventually that will catch up to you. So, just be a good human. That's all. Just be a good human. That is what I want to say.
You said like you get further basically by helping other people. And quick side story, that's why I brought this platform. Like I built this platform is I know so many people that have such wild, interesting stories, but they just need a platform to be heard. And I want to be that platform for people to come share their stories and I care so much about mental health and stuff like that and helping people. So that's why I started and brought this platform to light. And I have a best friend who helps me behind the scenes. You won't really ever see him on camera do anything with me, but him and I do a lot behind the scenes working together. Shout out Red Cedar over there, by the way.
Hello.
But anyways, Lana, have you ever watched Jerry Springer?
Jerry, absolutely.
Do you remember at the end of each episode, he does this thing called Jerry's Final Thought? What is Lana's final thought?
I think I'm going to capture a little bit of what you just said. Is part of being a human is lifting up other humans and giving them space, rather than just thinking about yourself all the time. I think that we need to make room for other people rather than fighting with each other. And when you make room for other people, it's better for yourself. It's better for everyone. And I think that if we just thought a little bit less about ourselves and more about the well-being of us as a collective, I think that would make for a better world.
So with everything said, I'm going to say all that to say this, and I'm going to get a little emotional and mushy for a minute. Lana, I've been wanting an interview with you since I started this platform. And from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for coming and just giving me a couple hours of your time or an hour of your time. It genuinely means a lot. You've been my biggest fan, my biggest advocate. You've been that person to help pick me up when I'm down. You listen to all my bitching and complaining. You follow almost everything I do. And when you put this new book out, I'm gonna be the first one to come get it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of your support, and I am absolutely always happy to support you. And remember, I actually said this to you yesterday, never let anybody disrespect you. And the
Hmm.
minute that somebody disrespects you, that's when you stop paying them any mind. They don't exist to you anymore. All right?
And I'm
Remember
going
that.
to end with one last question. What can we expect to see in the future from
Sure.
Lana?
Well, second edition when she comes, and other than that, I don't predict anything. I don't know. I don't knock on doors, I walk through them. And that's sort of what I've always done, because I find that chasing things never pans out
Hmm.
the way I expect or the way anybody expects. I think this is true of everybody. So when opportunities present themselves, I walk through. And so you will see me walk through more doors, or maybe not. Who knows?
But thank you again so much for coming and spending time with us
Thank
and
you.
allowing me to pick your mind, hear your story, and let me
Thank
ask you
you.
questions from a female perspective on our men's platform.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And, hello to all of my men friends that listen to Manscape. And thank you so much for having me.
Everyone, I will tag her and everything. I will put all her links for her books down below. I want all
Thanks.
my people to go support her. Like, please go support her. She's my
Thank
biggest fan,
you.
my biggest advocate. Let's fucking go. Everyone send her love,
Right?
send her follows. Like, this will be up on YouTube within an hour after I'm done.
All
But
right.
girl,
Well,
thank you so
no
much for
problem.
coming and hanging out.
Mwah.
Mwah. I hope to see you soon.
We will talk
As soon
soon.
as you get a London date, I'm coming to see you.
I will let you know as soon as I know.
All right, I'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon, darling.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.